said we're ready to go, John?
All set.
Oh, we're all good. Well, I want to welcome everyone on behalf of the Town of Manlius to our inaugural Pride flag raising today. I'd also like to introduce our board, our councilors who are here. Bollinger, Councilor Deere, Denton, Friesel, and Waters, as well as we have some of our staff out here, our town manager Anu, town clerk Allison Weber, and her staff, along with the planning board staff. I see Peggy Kenyon, recreational director over there. Welcome everyone today. Hold on. Oh yes, and Councilor Waters will be reading the resolution our board passed last night, and I want to thank her and the members of the community who have championed the LGBTQIA rights and representation. So with that, Heather, all yours.
Thank you so very, very much. Of course, I actually just clicked on the thing that I wanted to get, and thank you for understanding that we're trying to be digital, but what happened, there it is.
I got these 3x5 cards.
Those are pretty good. If you're comfortable, I'll just step over here and take this off. I'll be as loud as I can. Thank you very much to Councilor Deere, who makes sure that we can live stream to everyone. And welcome again to everyone, especially on short notice. Last night, as you know, the town board passed a resolution. I'd love to read the resolution for you. Last night, the town board passed a resolution recognizing Pride Month in the town of Manlius, New York. And here's the preamble. LGBTQIA people have always lived in the suburbs, but discrimination often meant that most openly gay men and lesbians in the 1940s and 50s had few options other than to live in older cities. The U.S. government helped to define the suburbs after World War II. Officials of the Federal Housing and Veterans Administration pushed banks to give mortgages to married men with children and forbade them to lend to Americans they perceived as representative of sexual deviance. The 1944 GI Bill was the first law in U.S. history to specifically exclude gay people from federal benefits, including mortgage assistance. In the 2 decades after World War II, urban centers in the U.S. attracted sizable LGBTQ communities. This divide between the city and the suburb started to break down in the 1970s and 1980s. Government officials also prohibited discrimination in lending to unmarried people. In 1970, the number of Americans living in suburbs, like ours, exceeded the number in central cities for the first time. Openly gay and transgender residents were a part of this new suburban diversity. The Town of Manlius has not publicly addressed these facts within its own history and aims to do so today, letting those in the LGBTQIA community who have ever worked or resided here, and do so now, be assured that they are recognized and respected, and beyond the protection of their equality and civil rights, that they belong here. To recognize the contributions of the LGBTQIA community to the Town of Manlius, the following resolution was presented, moved, and adopted yesterday, June 24th, at the meeting of the Town Board. Whereas the Town of Manlius, the town, supports the rights, freedoms, and equality of persons who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, and/or asexual, LGBTQIA, and whereas local government entities employ people and provide direct services to every resident, and local governments affect the daily lives of every resident in ways both big and small, whereas the town is committed to creating an inclusive and diverse workplace, providing training and prohibiting anti-LGBTQIA discrimination in employment and incorporating that prohibition into personnel policies, including prohibiting town employees from discriminating in services, activities, and programs. Whereas 71% of LGBTQ youth in a national 2019 Trevor Project survey reported experiencing discrimination due to either their sexual orientation or gender identity, and more than half of transgender youth considered suicide. Whereas 83% of respondents to a 2017 AARP study of older LGBT Americans said that community size is less important than LGBT friendliness in maintaining their dignity and quality of life. Whereas those who took a stand for human rights and dignity at the Stonewall Inn in New York City on June 28, 1969, are among the pioneers within the human rights movement. Therefore, be it resolved that the Manlius Town Board recognizes the continued struggles of the LGBTQIA community, and be it further resolved that the Manlius Town Board recognizes June as Pride Month in the state of New York, and be it further resolved that the town recommits itself to partnering with the Onondaga Human Rights Commission and local partner agencies that serve the LGBTQIA community for training and consultation. And be it further resolved that the Philadelphia Design Pride Flag, or Progress Design Pride Flag, or New Pride Flag, be raised at the Manlius Town Hall for all the days in June after this resolution is adopted, to fly every day in June going forward, and be lowered on the last day of the month of June every year from 2020 forward. So it's my honor and pleasure to introduce the De La Garza family, both friends and wonderful residents. Marisa grew up in the town of Manlius and came back and brought her wonderful family here. And I'd like to introduce to you Kate De La Garza, Camila De La Garza, Marisa De La Garza, and Drea De La Garza. Is there anything that you'd like to say? We're gonna go raise the flag.
I think we just have a couple of kiddos who are excited to raise a flag, and I just want to say thank you on behalf of the LGBTQIA community. This is a big deal in our town to publicly recognize and welcome our community. It really sends a message that all queer and LGBTQIA folks belong here, and that really makes a difference in people's lives. So thank you.
Thank you.
There you go. You guys want to do it?
I was curious about the history of it.
Oh, you guys get to pull it?
Yeah.
Heather, can you get over there for a picture?
Sure, let's do it. In the middle of a pandemic.
The boards and everything.
Let's do the board. Yeah. Come on, board. John, where are you? Where'd you go? Oh, there's John. John, come on over when you get a chance.
Always worked in the videos. That's right. You told me about that. This made me
I know.
Still do it.
Smiling with your eyes.
Yeah, let's do it one here.
We can do one without masks if
Yeah,
everyone
Oh,
comes
sure.
over.
Yeah,
You
you
or
sure.
we can leave them on if you'd rather.
Yeah, thank you. All right, we're good.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, I've got to run. I've got to drive.
Thank you for letting us borrow your flag. Yes. All right, thank you for donating.
You know, I mean, it's frustrating.
We're not giving you